Hey Yankees fans, welcome to Yankees Rumors and News, your go-to spot for the latest buzz and updates about our team. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a scoop. The New York Yankees have once again demonstrated that they are not a team afraid to wait until the most critical moments of the offseason to make their moves. While other teams may have started early and aggressively, New York has taken a more measured approach, allowing the dust to settle before pulling the trigger on significant roster changes. This strategy came into sharp focus after the Yankees re-signed Cody Bellinger to a massive 5-year deal worth $162.5 million, cementing their commitment to one of the most versatile players in the league. That signing alone left the Yankees with a roster remarkably similar to the one that concluded the previous season, a lineup already packed with star power but still with several key holes to address. Then, in a move that quietly made headlines but could prove to have a substantial impact, the Yankees executed a 1-for-1 trade to acquire former Colorado Rockies reliever Angel Chivoli. While on the surface this might seem like a simple depth move, it signals a willingness to explore strategic additions that could transform a bullpen that struggled to close games effectively last year. Chivoli, known for his performances in the thin air of Coors Field, now finds himself under the guidance of Yankees pitching coach Matt Blake, whose approach to refining pitchers could unlock the potential that made Chivoli a sought-after arm in the first place. This combination of coaching acumen and fresh talent could be exactly what the Yankees need to stabilize a relief corps that at times last season looked overextended and fatigued. Of course, one trade rarely marks the end of a team's off-season strategy, particularly for an organization like New York, which always seems to have multiple irons in the fire. The acquisition of Chivoli raises an obvious question: why stop there? The Yankees have the financial flexibility and organizational depth to explore several additional trade possibilities, particularly in areas of the roster that still leave them vulnerable. Starting pitching remains one of the most pressing needs for the team, given that key arms like Carlos Rodon and Jarrett Cole are not expected to return to full form until the middle of the season. That timeline creates an urgency for New York to secure reliable starters who can bridge the gap and keep the team competitive while the stars regain health and consistency. This brings us to the first potential trade partner in what could become a flurry of deals before the calendar turns: the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds, who have been relatively quiet this winter, possess pitching depth that could appeal to the Yankees in several ways. While Hunter Greene might be the name that grabs headlines due to his high ceiling, the Yankees are unlikely to entertain the astronomical price tag that would come with such a marquee prospect. Instead, the focus may shift to pitchers like left-hander Nick Lodolo, a player with sneaky number-to-starter potential, capable of slotting into a rotation with minimal adjustment. If Lodolo is off the table, Brady Singer presents another viable option, someone the Reds might be willing to part with for more modest compensation, particularly if it provides salary relief or minor league assets in return. For the Yankees, targeting either of these arms could offer the dual benefit of immediate rotation help and long-term upside, a combination that aligns perfectly with the team's current strategy of blending established stars with emerging talent, shifting from the Midwest to the southeastern coast. The Miami Marlins also represent a compelling trade partner for New York, particularly when it comes to left-handed pitching. The Yankees initially pursued Edward Cabrera, but ultimately lost out to the Chicago Cubs, prompting a pivot toward Ryan Weathers. Weathers projects as either a number 5 starter or a solid left-handed reliever, a versatile profile that fits neatly into a bullpen or lower rotation spot. However, the story does not end there. Speculation has swirled for over a year about the potential for the Yankees to target former Cy Young Award winner Sandy Alcantara, a player who experienced a challenging first half of last season, but rebounded to deliver a performance reminiscent of his peak form. Alcantara's ability to dominate games when at his best is well documented, and the Yankees could be positioned to take a calculated gamble, offering a highly valued young position player in exchange for the chance to unlock Alcantara's ceiling once again. This kind of move represents the Yankees' willingness to embrace risk for the sake of high reward, a hallmark of their philosophy under current management. The third team on the Yankees' speculative radar is the Baltimore Orioles, a suggestion that might initially raise eyebrows due to the divisional rivalry between the two clubs. Nevertheless, rumors persist that New York is still exploring opportunities to acquire a platoon partner for first baseman Ben Rice, and Paul Goldschmidt's name has surfaced in discussions. While this might seem like a bold approach given the competitive tension between these teams, the potential for mutual benefit cannot be ignored. Baltimore's acquisition of Pete Alonso has left Ryan Mountcastle, a right-handed hitter, in a somewhat awkward position. Mountcastle, entering the final year of arbitration eligibility with a salary of $6.8 million, could be available to a team willing to offer an asset capable of contributing at the major league level this season. For the Yankees, such a trade could provide additional lineup flexibility, while also shoring up a position where depth remains a concern. Meanwhile, the Orioles would gain a pitcher who could conceivably help them immediately, making the deal appealing from both sides of the negotiation table. When considering these three potential trade partners, the Reds, the Marlins, and the Orioles, it becomes clear that the Yankees are operating with a multifaceted approach that balances short-term necessity with long-term strategic planning. They are not simply filling holes, but are identifying opportunities to maximize the value of every roster move. The bullpen addition of Angel Chivoli may have flown under the radar for some fans, but it signals an active mindset, one that recognizes the importance of developing a pitching staff capable of sustaining success over the long haul. Similarly, exploring rotations upgrades with Cincinnati, targeting elite talent in Miami, or leveraging positional depth with Baltimore demonstrates a front office willing to engage creatively in a fast-paced, competitive market. Off-season strategy in Major League Baseball is often a game of patience, timing, and calculated risk, and the Yankees appear to be embracing all three in equal measure. Their approach reflects an understanding that while headline-grabbing signings generate excitement, the smaller, more surgical acquisitions, trades that address specific weaknesses or exploit underappreciated opportunities, can ultimately define a season. As the calendar moves forward, the expectation among analysts and fans alike is that the Yankees will continue to be active, possibly reshaping their roster in ways that maintain their perennial status as championship contenders. The combination of financial resources, managerial foresight, and a willingness to pursue bold moves ensures that the team will remain at the forefront of trade speculation and media attention for the entirety of the offseason. In conclusion, the Yankees' offseason activity to date, exemplified by the Rays signing of Cody Bellinger and the acquisition of Angel Chivoli, represents just the beginning of a series of moves that could alter the team's trajectory for the upcoming season. Whether they turn their attention to Cincinnati for rotation help, Miami for elite left-handed pitching, or Baltimore for positional versatility, the strategy is consistent: address weaknesses, maximize upside, and remain competitive in a league where every edge counts. The combination of thoughtful planning and opportunistic aggression may ultimately define this winter as one of the most intriguing and potentially transformative in recent Yankees history. Fans can expect further developments as the team continues to explore all avenues for improvement, with the promise of a roster capable of competing at the highest level once the regular season begins. The fast-paced conclusion of this offseason could see the Yankees emerging not just as buyers, but as architects of a team built for sustained success, where each move is calculated, deliberate, and aimed squarely at the ultimate goal: winning a championship. If you're enjoying the updates, drop a like and let us know in the comments your thoughts on this rumor. There's a buzz in the baseball world that you can practically feel pulsating through every corner of the sports media, and it all centers on one team, the New York Yankees, a franchise long accustomed to chasing greatness, to oscillating between periods of dominance and seasons of frustration, seems to be positioning itself not just for a fleeting title run, but for something far more ambitious: an attempt to construct a dynasty. In the truest sense of the word, rumors have swirled around Yankee Stadium, whispered in front offices and trading rooms, in the locker rooms, and even among fans who seem to have an almost sixth sense for sensing seismic shifts before they officially occur. And now, the subject of those whispers has become crystal clear. The Yankees are allegedly plotting a move to bring Juan Soto back to the Bronx, a player whose talent is often described as transcendent, whose presence in a lineup instantly elevates the stakes, and whose age belies the kind of baseball maturity and polish that usually comes only after years of experience. To even speculate that Soto could return to New York immediately sets off fireworks in the imagination of anyone familiar with his impact on the field. The young superstar, a player whose swing is simultaneously fluid and explosive, whose plate discipline is nearly unmatched, and whose aura seems to shift entire games with mere presence, represents not just a powerful addition to any lineup, but a statement. And for the Yankees, who have always had an eye for combining star power with a winning blueprint, acquiring Soto could signal the most aggressive offseason in recent memory. Sources close to the organization, though none officially confirmed, hint that discussions have been ongoing, more than just casual scouting reports or idle front office chatter. These conversations are said to involve complex trade packages, intricate financial maneuvers, and the kind of high-stakes negotiations that could reshape not only the Yankees roster, but the competitive landscape of Major League Baseball for years to come. The speculation grows even more tantalizing when you consider the context. The Yankees already boast a collection of seasoned talent, players who have won championships, players who have carried the franchise through both jubilation and despair. Layering Soto onto that foundation could create an offensive juggernaut, capable of challenging historical benchmarks. A lineup so formidable that opposing pitchers would need to strategize differently from the first pitch to the last out, and yet, even within this speculation lies a sense of risk. Because Soto is no ordinary acquisition, the price for a player of his caliber, the whispers suggest, would be monumental, potentially including top prospects, significant financial commitments, and perhaps even the dislocation of key pieces that have become integral to the Yankees' current identity. It's a gamble, certainly, but one that aligns with the historical tendencies of a franchise that has never shied away from bold moves. A franchise that seems to operate under the philosophy that championships are built by ambition, rather than caution. The very notion of Juan Soto returning to New York conjures visions of iconic matchups, of a lineup that is both terrifying and exhilarating. Imagine a player capable of changing the course of a series not through mere numbers, but through the subtleties of his approach, the way he works a count, the way he manipulates pitchers into mistakes, the way his presence shifts defensive alignments. The Yankees, by all accounts, see in Soto a cornerstone for a multi-year plan, a player around whom a championship window could not only open, but remain wide for an extended period. Speculators have even begun to draw parallels to historical dynasties, the way certain teams assembled core groups of talent that didn't just win titles, but created legacies. It's not unreasonable, based on the rumors, to consider that the Yankees front office is looking at Soto as a player who could anchor a decade of competitiveness. A player whose contributions might stretch far beyond the immediate pursuit of a single championship. And in the swirling conversations of sports pundits and insider sources, the potential move has ignited debates about team strategy, about the balance between present success and future flexibility, about the fine line between calculated risk and reckless ambition. The Yankees' history suggests that when they decide to swing big, they tend to swing for the fences in every sense, and if Soto is indeed on the radar, we could be witnessing one of the most audacious maneuvers in recent baseball memory. There's also the human element, the intrigue of player preference and personality. That adds layers to this rumor. Soto is known for a mature, focused approach to his career, someone who evaluates opportunities not just through the lens of money, but through the lens of fit, legacy, and the chance to compete at the highest level. Sources speculate that a return to the Yankees might appeal to him, not only for the sheer magnitude of the platform, but for the culture of winning and expectation that New York imposes. Fans have long speculated about the magnetic pull of the Bronx on elite talent, and Soto's hypothetical return would be no exception. The idea of him stepping onto that field, wearing the pinstripes once again, conjures a narrative that feels almost cinematic, a young superstar coming home to join a veteran-laden team, a blend of raw talent and seasoned experience poised to dominate the league. It's a storyline that would write itself in highlight reels and trade rumor columns. In the endless chatter of analysts dissecting every conceivable angle, and while nothing is confirmed, the mere suggestion of this move has already begun to ripple through the baseball community, sparking discussions about lineups, pitching rotations, and even the broader implications for competitive balance across the league. Financially, the proposition is equally tantalizing and fraught. The Yankees are no strangers to massive contracts and high-profile acquisitions, but the reports suggest that bringing Soto back would involve intricate financial planning, long-term commitments, and potentially significant restructuring of payroll. The team is rumored to be exploring creative mechanisms to make such a deal feasible, including deferred payments, performance bonuses, and leveraging other assets in ways that demonstrate both fiscal acumen and willingness to invest in winning at the highest level. The implications extend beyond mere numbers, however. Because a move of this magnitude signals intent, it's one thing to make minor adjustments or to chase incremental improvements. But it's entirely another to target a player like Soto, with the goal of altering the trajectory of the franchise for years to come. Analysts and insiders have begun theorizing about how the Yankees' offensive philosophy might shift, how their approach to building around Soto could mirror other dynasties in sports history, and whether this could mark the beginning of a new era in which the team is not just competitive, but consistently dominant. The rumor also carries a cultural weight. Juan Soto is more than a player. He's a symbol of a new generation of baseball excellence, a fusion of athletic prowess, mental sharpness, and charisma. His hypothetical presence in the Yankees lineup would affect not only on-field strategy, but also fan engagement, media narratives, and the broader conversation about baseball's evolution. The Bronx, a place already steeped in history, would suddenly feel like the epicenter of a potential dynasty. A city where the collision of tradition and contemporary talent could produce something unprecedented. Social media chatter has exploded around the idea, with fans imagining everything from historic matchups against perennial rivals to debates over whether this new lineup could surpass some of the greatest in MLB history. The possibilities are endless, and while grounded in speculation, they fuel an almost intoxicating sense of anticipation that the Yankees might be on the verge of a seismic shift. At the end of the day, the story is still in the rumor stage, a swirl of possibilities, negotiations, and hypotheticals, yet the very fact that this speculation is being discussed with such intensity speaks volumes about the Yankees' ambitions, about the way the organization continues to approach baseball as both sport and spectacle. If these rumors bear fruit, if Soto truly does return to the Bronx, we could be witnessing the construction of something far beyond a single championship run. We could be witnessing the birth of a modern dynasty, a team carefully curated to dominate not just for one season, but for a generation. And as fans, analysts, and insiders continue to debate the feasibility, the price, and the potential impact of such a move, one thing is clear: the Yankees are thinking bigger, bolder, and further into the future than perhaps any other team in the league. Whether this translates into actual acquisition remains to be seen, but the rumor alone has already altered the narrative, inviting every baseball enthusiast to imagine what might happen if a player of Juan Soto's caliber were once again donning the pinstripes in pursuit of glory. The anticipation, the speculation, the possibility of greatness — this is what makes the rumor so irresistible. What keeps it alive in the conversation, and what ensures that the Yankees remain at the center of baseball discourse, forever chasing the idea that sometimes ambition can reshape history itself. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with every Yankees rumor and news. See you in the next video.